What is good, everyone? Welcome to the Chicago Clubhouse Network. It is the guy that everyone loves to hate, the Crooked Commish. Here to break down some of these free agency moves that have happened today. Today, as you all know, is the first day of NFL free agency. So there has been a lot of transaction actions that have been done so far today. So right now, we're going to go ahead and go over some of those, look over the good, the bad, all of it. Chicago Bears definitely today on both sides of the ball. So tonight we will have a very, very familiar face to the show. The Friday show of Easy Does It is now making a special guest appearance on the fantasy show tonight. So we'll definitely talk some fantasy football, talk about all the latest moves that have gone on and taken place throughout the day. But then, like I said, we'll also definitely start off and talking about what our Chicago Bears have done. So with that all being said, let's go ahead and get it kicked off. There we go, maybe. And we are back. Thanks for sticking with us. Thanks for hanging in tough with us through all the technical difficulties. Hopefully, we are sounding a lot better. The words are kind of matching up to what our lips are saying. It doesn't look like an Asian movie that has English dubs over it. So hopefully, we're all good and we're sounding good and stuff. But let me go ahead and bring in my co-host for the evening. You all know him by quite a few different names. There's 2% Milk, there's a Cul-de-sac, but a lot of other people know him as Easy from Easy Does It. So Easy,
what's up? Hello, how you doing? How you doing, Crooked?
I'm good, man. I'm good. Like I said, enjoying all the news that's been coming out today. Like I said, a lot of signings. Like I said, the Bears have definitely been busy improving the line on both sides of the ball.
Yeah, all these moves look really good on paper. Really, really good on paper. The Bears are so good at looking good on paper.
Yes, we do tend to win the off-season awards. Like
we're really good at winning the off-season. Last year we won the off-season when we brought in Keenan Allen, big name guy. Drafted our quarterback, drafted Roma Dunze. Super, super exciting going into the season. 5-12. This year, Look, I understand. I get why people are optimistic because why be negative? What's the point in being JB? What's the point in being negative about it? Well, the answer is some of us are just so jaded. October 27th, man. I was at a wedding. I was so hyped to get back in that game. And then when Jaden Daniels threw that ball and it was tipped up, I died a little inside. Gotcha. And then 4 weeks later, I died even more inside when that field goal was blocked against Green Bay.
Yeah, we got to talk about that again, huh?
These moves are good. They're really good moves on paper. Bring in the Robert Ory of the NFL in Joe Thuney or Tunney. I don't know how to say his name. I've only read it, never really heard it, but he's won multiple championships with multiple teams. It's a great signing, right? Get Jonah Jackson, put him back at guard. He's used to playing center. No, he's going to be a guard again where he's excelled. Yeah, sounds like an awesome move. Bringing in Dahlman from the Falcons. Fun fact, Dahlman backed up my cousin, Benjamin. Shout out Ben Delbick.
Oh, shit. Nice.
Yeah, he backed up my cousin in high school for about 2 days, and then I'm guessing Dahlman probably won the starting job over Ben because Ben's cool. He's pretty good at high school football, but you'd rather start the NFL caliber offensive lineman over the 5'6" guy. But no, Ben's cool. But yeah, look, these are all great moves, right? Like they look good on paper. The line's looking better than it was a month ago. So that's a good thing. But like, you watch some of the Bears games from this past year and the year before, and you just throughout my whole lifetime, you watch these Bears games and it's like, it feels like there's something more nefarious at play here. Like there's some sort of a cosmic universe action going on against the Chicago Bears and causing us to, hey, Matt, causing us
they're down, Matt. They're down.
It feels like it doesn't matter. I'm ready to just see results. And unfortunately, I have to wait 6 months for it. So right now I'm still pretty negative, but I'm trying to channel that positive energy that I felt from winning our only game of this calendar year against Green Bay, because that was awesome.
It was.
But look, yeah, great moves, but I don't want to fall for the same shit again.
Yeah, and I totally feel that. Like you're tired of building up the expectations or kind of setting them pretty high because we see certain moves where on paper it should work out, but things don't always work out the way it should, sometimes. And then a lot of us, being Bears fans, maybe overhype or kind of may get a little too excited over some of these signings that in hindsight and another team we're looking at it, or it's kind of like, that was just okay. Like it wasn't that big of a deal and stuff. But I think the biggest difference is from last year to this year is that I feel like we're investing the money in the right places this year, in the trenches and whatnot. Last year we kind of tried to do it like Band-Aid type of guys. And I think last year, a lot of us saw that as a possible issue that the Bears were going to have to deal with going throughout the season. We were banking on everybody and needing everybody to stay relatively healthy for the most part on that offensive line because we really didn't have quality backups at all. And it certainly showed.
Yeah, it's the thing is, that's the important thing, right? Getting quality backups and just building depth the best you can. And, just getting guys that you can plug and play, but also, you want to be investing, you want to be putting a lot of money into these premium positions. And what I consider to be a premium position is the trenches. And it looks like the Bears have better trenches now. Obviously, the interior of the offensive line is going to look completely different than what it looked like last year. Jonah Jackson, Pro Bowler in 2021, started 16 games that season. And the thing is, what helped him that year, what helped him to be a Pro Bowler is like he was playing guard. He wasn't playing center. And to my understanding, once he moved over to center, he struggled a lot more because, he's not a center. He's a guard.
Right.
So I do have a lot of confidence that he'll be a lot better. And it's not like he's old. He's only 28. I do feel comfortable with him at guard since that's where he's excelled. Obviously, Joe Thuney's done it at the highest level. And Dahlman, Dahlman's apparently one of the – that's a great signing, I think. I think Dahlman's a really good move.
That was my number one guy. That was the guy that I was desperately hoping that the Bears would just more or less kind of just slide over a blank check to him and just kind of like, you just write whatever number makes you feel comfortable.
Whatever you want, Drew Brazil Dahlman.
This is what I was wanting to tell Poles and whatnot about Dahlman.
Pay that man his money.
Yep. No, I look. We needed a center. We needed someone who knows offensive lines. But not to be the super negative guy, he did miss half the season last year with some sort of injury. I'm not entirely sure what it was, but I know he only played 9 total games.
I like the fact that he's only 26 years old, coming off his rookie contract.
Yes, completely agreed with that. I think that's a great, it is important that he's he's a young guy, and that's what you want to see. I guess what happened is he played the first 3 games of the season. If you remember, the Falcons looked okay earlier in the year. Then he got hurt. Well, look, I mean, the win-loss, the prowess of the Falcons did not come down to Wayne Dahlman, or not Wayne. That's not his Wayne. I'm thinking of Wayne Dahlman. Did not come down to
Mine
Drew.
Too, Tony. Mine too.
And his, and how well he was playing. But eventually, he did come back towards the end of the year, and he finished out the season. So really what happened is he missed a big chunk in the middle. But yeah, he's I obviously take pro football focus with a grain of salt, because I think that everything that they do is they give you their ratings based on their own reasoned opinions from watching every play. So I think that they, especially when it comes to the trenches and cornerbacks and things where you can't always quantify how good these guys are, I think they do an excellent job of coming up with decent, thoughtful explanations for their numbers. But also at the same time, they don't always know what plays are called. So they can't always put an accurate grade on each player's play. With that being said, they do a decent job for the most part. And, he was the 5th highest graded offensive lineman, or the 5th highest graded center in terms of run blocking. And that's super important because you got to be able to run the ball. And last year, something that I kept saying, which was stupid and I liked, was it's hard to run the ball when you can't run the ball. And this year, you got it? Did you get it?
No, I missed it, but it'll be back. So
it's hard.
It'll be whack at it.
But yeah, it's hard to run the ball when you can't run the ball. And now we have a guy who knows a thing or two about running the ball. My dad sent me a stat as well about Bijan Robinson's EPA being a lot worse, expected play average, yard average was a lot lower when Dahlman was out. So when Dahlman was in, Bijan was more likely to have a lot more success. So, that's an encouraging sign as well. It's a very nerdy statistic, but I see where it comes from. And yeah, that's why I'm definitely most excited about that signing than anything else. I still think the problems on the defensive side of the ball are not being addressed properly. And that's where I'm a little bit more concerned. But offensively, yeah, the offensive line should be better. I'm still not the biggest Braxton Jones guy.
We definitely need another tackle still.
But if he's the weak link, that's not, you could do worse than that. And right now he's the weak link on the line. There's no question, because you brought in, a really good center, 2 really good guards. Darnell Wright's already a really solid right tackle. You gotta get someone better at that left tackle spot. And
let me ask you this.
Where is that going to come from?
Let me ask you this real quick. So we gave Dahlman 3 years, $42 million. We saw what the Vikings got a center as well. I believe they got Fry for 2 years, $18 million.
Mm-hmm.
So that's a big gap in what they're paying for in money. Knowing what Minnesota got their center for, would you have been okay with getting, paying a little less for this type of center that they got in Fry? Or are you completely happy with just maybe overpaying a little or giving, the amount of money that we did over to Dahlman?
That's a good question. I think that, the truth is, I don't know enough about, I think his name is Will Fries, which is a great name, by the way. Shout out to him and his parents for naming him Will Fries. But Will Fries, he fries everything. But no, I think I'm okay with overpaying for a center if he's really good and if he's able to make that much of a difference in the running game. Also, just where the Bears are at with the cap, they had a ton of space going into today. Obviously, they've used a lot of that space, but they still have a lot. And also, we have to remember to shift shift the paradigm a little bit on what we think is an overpay because the salary cap has increased. So all these massive contracts, like if you were to adjust it for the increase, they would look a little bit smaller than what they actually are. And I think that's just something important to note as well. Now, I don't know exactly what those numbers look like because I don't feel like breaking it down. Right? But I do think that that's definitely something that should be taken into account. I think, but yeah, I don't know enough about Will Fries, but I thought the Vikings offensive line was good enough last year. I guess not so much, but
is that your dad there, Rob?
What did my dad say?
It says free agency has overpaying baked into it.
Yeah, he's right. You absolutely have to overpay some guys, but look.
Here's a question coming in here from Tony.
Oh, good.
Do you think we will draft a running back at 10 now? Now that we kind of made some moves on the offensive line.
The question isn't will we draft a running back. The question is will we draft Genty? There's no other running back in the draft that is worth taking at 10. Genty he's incredibly talented. He is a transcendent player. If he's available at 10, I think they absolutely at this point should take him at 10. And maybe try to trade up with some of those mid-round picks. And maybe even trade a pick, trade one of next year's picks to try to get someone to solidify the left tackle position. Although I'm not completely enthusiastic about the offensive tackles in this year's draft. I don't think they're necessarily going to come in and just be amazing. But look, hell, worst comes to worst, they get a young offensive tackle in the second round or, maybe late in the first if they're able to trade up. And that guy at least lights a fire under Braxton's ass and gets him to, lift a little more. Because really, Braxton's got the frame. If he was just a little stronger, maybe he could be a solid player. I say that as me, who could I don't know. I don't even know what I could bench. Probably the bar at best. But professional.
Hell no, to the no, hell to the no.
Yeah, the bar's heavier than it looks. So, especially when you have an easy button.
Oh no, the bar. Yeah, no, I'm well aware. Point being is I'm not super confident that the Bears, I'm not super confident that the Bears are going to be able to find that left tackle replacement, and that's still the most important position in football. Unless they were, unless they wanted to bring back Jenkins and see if he would make the switch, but I don't think you could count on him because he was a left tackle in college. But no, you don't want to put square pegs into round holes. You got to get a left tackle. Obviously, Ronnie Stanley. I was holding out hope for him, but naturally he went back to Baltimore. So
Baltimore lost their other tackle too.
So I mean, draft. What'd you say?
I said Baltimore lost one of their other offensive linemen as well today. So they would have been in a really bad spot if they would have lost Ronnie and the other lineman as well. So they kind of desperately had to keep one of the two at the very least.
Yeah, they were really in that. They were really in a spot.
You said something earlier, like you weren't too much of a fan of what's been going on the other side of the ball. Does that mean you didn't like the Grady Jarrett? Was it Jarrett signings?
Well, first of all, I'm pretty sure Grady Jarrett, as far as I know, he's a really good player. Don't get me wrong. I don't know about 3 years of him when Atlanta couldn't wait to be rid of him was necessarily the right move.
It's a little alarming.
It's a bit alarming because it's a lot of money for a guy who has been good, but is also 31 years old. A lot of tread on the tires. And yes, he's been a disruptor in the past, but can he still do it at a high level? If not, then then I'm not sure what we're going to do. Also, to my understanding, he's a defensive end in a 3-4, but a defensive tackle in a 4-3. So I think he'd have to make that kind of adjustment. Not really exactly sure what that would look like. If Noah's listening, Noah, if you're listening to the show, chime in and tell me the prototype that Grady Jarrett is, because I'd love to have your insight on that. But
what you said that I like hearing about him though is the fact that can kind of be used as a Swiss Army knife on that defensive line. He's not necessarily you have to use him as a nose tackle or whatnot. Apparently, he may be able to play the defensive end as well, so we can kind of move him around week to week or game to game if need be, depending on injuries and whatnot that happen in the NFL season. So,
yeah, I think, like you should be able to use him a lot. Definitely a hand in the dirt guy. Like he's 288 pounds, so he's more tackle than end. But, I do wonder what the Bears are going to be doing on the defensive side of the ball. I assume they're going to stick with the 4-3 that they've been going with. Because look, Montez Sweat and Grady Jarrett on the same line, that's a very scary thought for opposing offenses if it's 2021. But we're going into 2025. So I'm just hoping that those guys –
fair point.
we also got the guy from the Colts. I'm not even going to try to pronounce his name because whatever I end up saying is going to be rude.
Deo. The first name is Deo. Yeah, so he got a bag too.
He got a bag too, but what has he done?
I don't know, but he was definitely able to go into Ryan Poles, and
Show me the money.
Dude, I would be screaming if I got that bag as well, man, because that's exactly.
Wait, Dad, did Genty really say that? Oh, that breaks my heart.
Hold on, y'all. I got it back. Yeah, I'm gonna like Chicago's too cold. It's too cold. I can't do that. What the hell?
All right, well, then go to Dallas and go play with Jerry Jones and go be coached by Brian Nepotism Schottenheimer and don't
That's cool.
come with us where we're gonna win championships.
I like Caleb Johnson from Iowa better, and he's already used to the cold weather, so he shouldn't have that complaint. So
the Iowa kid,
yeah.
Look, I want to get him. I want to get him number 10.
No. But you could still. I think so. What the Bears are doing before we start getting into some other things that happen around the league, I think it's really, really likely though with these moves that maybe the Bears are probably going to trade back from 10 and pick up some more picks. I'm not too far back, maybe one or two spots. If somebody comes calling to them and saying, "Hey, do you mind dropping back to 15 or 13 or wherever," I wouldn't be too surprised about that to get some of those draft picks back that you've already used to trade, to get the guy from KC and to get the other guy from the
man. I am so excited to trade up or to trade back and to get someone, like get an offensive tackle and get all excited about him throughout the offseason and be like, oh man, we killed this draft. This guy's going to be great. This guy's going to be great. And then I'm excited to be disappointed again. And then I'm excited to get excited again.
It's a roller coaster. It cycles. You like it's a cycle there.
So, yeah. This cycle is fun. But hey, maybe it is a little different this time. There is a new coach. There is a new coaching staff. I mean, look, Eric Bieniemy was in talks as a head coach in the NFL. Now he is just on our staff as a running backs coach. We have a lot of really good, sharp football minds in the room for once. And I like it. I like that. That's one thing that I think is definitely confidence inducing. Who do you think out of the Blue Chippers has the best chance of sliding to 10? Well, that's a good question, Robo. Let's see. I'm gonna do some research. I don't know who you could consider the Blue Chippers in this draft. I don't think there's a ton of them. I don't think any of the quarterbacks are Blue Chippers for one thing. Look, if Abdul Carter slipped that far, I think that'd be great.
Yeah, that'd be crazy.
I'm not the biggest Travis Hunter fan, I think he's awesome, but I think his big thing is versatility. And I think versatility isn't necessarily what you're looking for. Like, you want a guy who can, yes, versatility is very important. Don't get me wrong. You want a guy who's versatile in the NFL. But, like, you know, if his whole thing is he plays both positions, like, he better do at least one of them really, really, really well if he wants to be a number one pick. But he won't fall that far, of course. I love Mason Graham. Absolutely love Mason Graham. Don't think he's going to fall. I like Will Campbell. I don't think he's going to fall. I don't know. I don't think any of the blue chips that I really like are going to make it down there. Yeah.
All right.
I'm sorry. I wish I had a better answer. What do you think, Crooked?
Yeah, I think if anyone starts to drop, someone will trade up at that point, you know, to try and leapfrog us. And we don't really have the capital anymore to do that, you know, even if it's just a spot or two. What we've used to trade for, you know, both the guards that are coming in already and stuff. And then, like I said, last year we already used one of those draft picks for Booker as well. So I think Kareem Amagaji, we definitely got to look into what we have in him. You know, we spent a 3rd round pick on this guy last year. So the key thing is to get him developed.
Yeah, you got to get him developed. But, like, why were they taking it through? Why are they drafting a kid from Yale in the 3rd round?
It is what it is at this point.
I
mean, some of us were a little perplexed about that as well. I mean, I get he has a high ceiling if he can stay healthy and whatnot, but that's a big if. We can't just assume that someone's going to be able to come back and play a grown man's game like that and stuff like. So we'll see. You know, I'm definitely happy that we have you know, Ben Johnson and the coaching staff that he's hired. Definitely like that. So we'll see if they can develop him into the guy that maybe that Poles thought he clearly could be. So,
I like Kelvin Banks Jr., but he also is one of those guys who a lot of people think is going to translate to guard. And we have guards. We need tackle. We need a tackle. Right. So, you know, I don't know. Would you look into trading out for like a Will Campbell?
Like I said, I don't think we have the capital for it anymore to try and give up and stuff. As much as I like him and stuff, we would just, if we were to trade up, it would literally, we can only maybe trade up one spot or two or whatnot. So we don't have to give up too much. You know, maybe we just have to give up a 4th rounder or a 5th rounder or whatnot. But like, as much as like I said, I like him, I think at this point we would trade back and then get just another decent piece, you know, to even if it's a lineman, but just someone else to develop and stuff behind these guys that we just signed and whatnot. Because some of these guys that we signed for are a little long in the tooth. You know, they're not going to be around too long. And
that's true. That's also a little concerning. Like with a lot of these moves, is like, yeah, they're good moves, but like these are, the way I see it is like these are good moves for teams that are ready to compete now. I don't think the Bears are ready to compete now. I just like, I'd love for the Bears to be ready and for Caleb to take that next step and for everyone to, you know, for us to just start reeling off win after win after win. But also I'm realistic about it. And I'm like, you know, I just don't see the franchise turning around that immediately.
Well, Poles doesn't have that long of a leash anymore. He's kind of been working at this roster longer than Ben has. So I mean, Poles may be a little eager to win now compared to, you know, Ben, who he's like, I just got here. You know, I have a little bit longer of a leash, and so like I said, Poles at least needs to have the arrow start to be pointing up on a lot of these players and whatnot. And you know, the offensive scheme, you know, if they're not winning games, they at least need to be scoring a shit ton of points and whatnot. But like I said, he cannot just fall back on like, oh yeah, we'll eventually get there. He needs to start showing, you know, some results to what he's been doing and whatnot. So, but With that being said, let's kind of look a little bit into what the rest of the NFL and the other league has been. The league has been doing. There was a lot of chirping going on that one of our rivals, Green Bay, was in the works and the talkings and getting DK Metcalf traded over to them. Thank God that didn't happen.
Yeah, for real. I did not want to deal with that shit.
Yeah. So DK ended up getting traded for a second-round pick to the Pittsburgh Steelers. So, and then now the word on the street is that they're the heavy favorites to land Aaron Rodgers. So if that were to, come true and whatnot, what would you think of the Steelers now adding DK and possibly with Aaron Rodgers there?
I think that they'd be good. A lot of people think Aaron Rodgers is washed. I don't think he's washed. I think he played for the Jets. The difference between being washed and playing for the Jets. Everyone looks washed when they play for the Jets because they're the Jets. They're not much different from the Bears. I think Aaron Rodgers goes over to the Steelers. They have some good receivers now. I mean, they have two super exciting, fun, like just total Steeler-like receivers in Metcalf and Pickens, like total divas in the best
Pickens
way.
A hothead, though.
What now?
Pickens is a hothead, though. And
yes, he is. And I love it.
He can be taken out of the game.
I love my receivers to be hot-headed and to have big personalities and to think they're bigger than the rest of the game. As long as it's not necessarily on my team, but like, look, a lot of the most hot-headed guys you'll ever see are the most productive as well. Like Steve Smith, Chad Ochocinco, Terrell Owens. I could keep going, but we have a show to do. Look, I think the receiver room of Pickens and DK Metcalf, I think that's definitely going to be enticing for Rodgers, and I think he comes in. And I think he could take them. I mean, any decent QB could come in and take the Steelers to the playoffs. That's not the problem that they've had. The problem is getting deep into the playoffs.
Right.
And I think, just based on what I've seen Aaron Rodgers do in my life, I'm not ready to be like, oh, no, he can't take them far into the playoffs at all. But I think my guess would be if the Steelers sign Rodgers, they would go to the divisional round, which is an upgrade from the wild card round.
Hey, Michael, I have to say I like your logo there, your emblem and stuff. It kind of looks a little familiar there. What's your picture on your design there? But Michael said, I can't wait if that happens. Aaron Rodgers and Mike Tomlin. Oh boy, that will make a good show the first time they have words. Yeah, that would be very entertaining to see those fireworks.
Oh, yeah.
So
hey, but Anthony, how's it going, man?
I do think DK needs that kind of quarterback to go over there for him to be relevant in fantasy and stay in the top 10 to be a top 10 fantasy receiver and whatnot. So, because as good as he is, if he doesn't have anybody throwing him the ball, then what the hell?
Look, the Steelers with Aaron Rodgers and those two receivers, the Steelers are going to be much watch TV. I'll just say that. I really think that they're just going to be they're going to be very entertaining. A lot of drama over there in Pittsburgh. But also that's a great division. So, I mean, the Bengals are really good and the Ravens are really good. The Browns are the Browns. But although the Browns did just sign Myles Garrett, they did extend him after all that. So that saga is over. But yeah, I would love to see Rodgers on the Steelers. I think that would just be very entertaining to watch. And but hopefully he doesn't win too much with them because I hate that guy. But,
Didn't the Browns just get Kenny Pickett as well? I believe they got
the Browns
Kenny
did just
Pickett
get Kenny
as well.
Pickett. Yep, they traded for.
I
Kenny
mean,
Pickett.
they're already making their moves to try and rid themselves of Deshaun Watson.
Yeah, for real.
So considering that he won't be ready for the season when he re-aggravated his Achilles there, not taking the proper precautions and staying in a walking boot. Well,
I guess he can't really go get a massage anymore. He doesn't have the street cred for that.
Yeah, well, him and freaking Justin Tucker apparently doing the same thing. That's just crazy how the news came out with that. And,
what, Justin Tucker, the church boy, the choir boy?
Exactly.
Him?
Exactly. Yes.
No way.
Yes, that guy. Yeah. But apparently he needs to he needs a massage so he can hit that high note there when he's doing the opera singings and stuff. So.
Well, look, it hasn't really helped him too much in the kicking game because he's been, just like an average kicker the past couple
been
years.
A little off lately, yeah.
Yes. And
so
yes,
Khalil Mack did also re-sign Khalil Mack, yes.
Yeah, the Bears social media manager really teased me with that. I thought we were getting Mack back, and I was a little bit excited because I have his Bears jersey, and it would have been cool to wear it again. But, can't.
Some of the other moves that happened, too, is Chase Young. Chase Young was one of the guys that was kind of on my list. He re-signs with New Orleans as well, so there's another
that was
defensive
an decision, but I would have liked to have Chase Young as well. But can't say I'm like surprised by that move at all. But yeah, there's been a lot of movement. There's been a lot of movement, and I guess Sam Darnold, did he end up going to Seattle?
He did. How do you think he's gonna work out there? I was just about to ask you that one. So
I think it'll be.
He doesn't have DK to throw it to anymore now, though.
I think it's a lateral move with Geno Smith. I think they're just about as fine as each other. Two middle-aged quarterbacks who ended up who were with the Jets and who were kind of fucked up by the Jets and then moved on from the Jets and became pretty good wherever they went, but not good enough to get to the next level. I think Darnold on the Seahawks will win some games. They'll do some winning, but I don't think that they're going to light the world on fire or anything like that. I think that they'll be just as average as they've been. But hey, you know what? I would love for the Bears to be average for once. That would be different.
How do you think that affects Jackson Smith-Njigba's draft stock and draft value? I mean, he came on really strong last year, had a really good, second year, but now he's definitely going to be the receiver number one over there in Seattle, and he doesn't have a big receiver like DK to kind of take the number one corner off of his back. So how do you think Njigba will do?
I think we get a lot of targets. I think it'll be a high fantasy option for sure. But I also, I don't know. I just think I think it'll end up it'll be a solid WR1, but nothing super spectacular. Very cute dog there. I think
Walter Payton.
I think he'll do fine. Oh, Walter Payton. That's what's up. That's a great name. I think he'll be fine, but I don't think he's going to be special. I think he's going to be, just like a.
Do you think his numbers will be similar to what he did last year, or do you think he's going to take a step back?
I think he'll probably put up similar numbers to last year, but really, I think what they're saying is that they expect him to be that guy. And, he had a really good year, 100 catches, of course. So I think, I guess to answer your question is, yes, I think he will put up similar numbers. I don't think that's necessarily going to translate to wins because I think Seattle is mostly pretty average. My dog is in my bedroom with her mom.
With your fiance?
No, she's on the couch right now.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Maybe she's a little camera shy.
Right.
But yeah, I think the Seahawks will be fine. I don't think that any of their moves necessarily make them much better or much worse. I think that they're going to be just about average as they usually are.
So real quick, speaking of the Jets, a very familiar face that we all know all too well is now the QB1 for the Jets. Good old Justin Fields has now made his way over there and is reunited with Garrett Wilson. So I do think Garrett Wilson
from Ohio State.
Yeah, good old Buckeye boys getting back together.
That Ohio State team in 2020 when Justin Fields was there, they were so stacked. They were insane. It's surprising that they didn't win. By the way, I'm a Buckeye now. I've inherited them because my fiance is a Buckeye herself. So I'm a champion. I saw my team win a championship this year. So that's pretty cool. Go Buckeyes.
What a great year to become a Buckeyes fan is the year that they win a championship. So yeah.
Could not have been better. But man, those Buckeyes, I mean, they have Garrett Wilson, Trey Sermon, two NFL players, Jameson Williams, Jackson Smith. I can't say his. I hate saying his name, but JSN.
JSN, there you
I
go.
call him JSN, yeah, because that's how to pronounce it. I hate saying his name because it always sounds like the other thing. And then Chris Olave, like those are four legit number one receivers in the NFL.
Right.
And and Sermon, who's a solid running back, I guess, and then Luke Farrell, who's in the NFL now. Yeah, like that team was crazy. I just like going back to that team because it's just a crazy thing to think about. But yeah, the Jets and Steelers basically traded quarterbacks, although Rodgers, nothing official yet. But Justin Fields on the Jets. I don't think he's going to do particularly well because it's the Jets. And, he's not that good. So
do you think he'll be a viable fantasy QB would he be able to be somebody that you could feel comfortable starting with, or is he one of these guys where 1 week you start him, the next week you put in someone like Russell Wilson? You're kind of just playing a matchup game between.
Well, yeah, fantasy, sure, because he's he'll run for he'll get you 5 points just by rushing for 50 yards. Can it be a winning QB? No. Okay. No, he can't. Sorry, like he could throw far. He's got some good deep ball accuracy. And he could run the ball well, but he's not good. Like, he's not a good quarterback. He did somewhat impressive stuff with the Steelers this year. I'll give him that. And I don't think he's bad. I think he's at least, like, fun-ish. But people are like, a lot of Bears fans, including Bears fans with whom we're affiliated, will be like, oh, we miss Justin. Those were the good old days when we had Justin here. It's like, really? That was the good old days when we were losing, like, 12, 15 games a season? Is you consider those the good old days? No. I think the Bears and the Jets are pretty much parallel universe versions of each other, and I don't think Justin will be particularly successful with them. I think he'll have his moments because he always has his moments, and there will be times when that offense just looks completely lethargic. So, yeah, Jets fans are with us right now getting very excited about the news, but at the same time, I don't think this is going to be enough to beat the Bills. Definitely not going to be enough to beat Miami, But yeah, I think that's where I'm at on that.
All right. So Michael is saying, as a Bears fan and a Justin Fields fan, I couldn't be more excited for him, and I hope he does well. His buddies and they've
thrown a lot of touchdowns together in college. I hope he found his home. Yeah, I don't care too much, honestly. Like I root for the Bears that are on the Bears. Nobody talks about this, but maybe you guys will bring it up later or whatever. But Justin didn't play last year that much for the Steelers because their cheap asses didn't want to give us that higher pick. And now, thank God, him at all so good for Justin. He knows they've played him, and then they were going to do it again with this bogus contract. Okay, there's a lot talking about there. First of all,
he's talking about the 6th-round pick. They said, because obviously if he played more,
they didn't stop playing Justin. They didn't stop. They didn't bench Justin because of the 4th-round pick. They benched Justin because Russell Wilson was better. That's why they benched him. Like, yeah, I'm sure.
I think that's debatable.
I don't think that's the way it is. Like, I think that the reason they benched him is because they knew that they had a better chance to win with Russell Wilson because Russell Wilson is better at reading defenses and throwing the ball downfield. Yeah, I know he wasn't amazing or anything, but he was good. He won. He was 6-5. He was fine. Threw a lot of touchdowns or threw, good touchdown interception ratio like he always does. Just looked a little bit old at times. I understand that they would have had to give us a higher pick if he played 50% of the snaps. I'm saying that's not why they benched him. They benched him because he isn't very good. He's just not very good. And I know he won some games with them, like they were able to win, a couple games because that's what the Steelers do. The Steelers are winners. They win a lot of games in the regular season. That wasn't because Justin was like this otherworldly starter or anything. It was because they were the Steelers, and the Steelers are pretty good. Look, they wanted to win. They wanted to make the decision that put them in the best position to win. That decision was starting Russell Wilson. Obviously, it didn't work out for them, but I don't think it would have been much better if they had Justin.
They would have given us a higher pick. Yeah, no, it's hard to. I guess hearing that, the other side of that would definitely say the Steelers were winning with Justin. They were being 4-2. So it's not like they were 3-3 or 2-4 at that point and stuff. So that's the argument, I guess, against that for Justin there, and how maybe he didn't get a fair shake and stuff like that. But I guess it was all in how they were winning. The Steelers weren't too impressed on how they were winning these games and how Justin was getting there.
He was only throwing for 185 yards a game. Like, you can't. Yeah, that's not sustainable. That's not sustainable.
Yeah. So it'll be interesting to see how he does over there with the Jets. He's got Breece Hall still there at the running back position, along with Garrett Wilson. It'll be interesting to see where they go in the draft. The Jets still had a pretty their main what's the word I'm looking for? The best part of the Jets last year was their defense, but even that started to get kind of worn thin, especially after they fired their defensive head coach and whatnot and stuff. So plus they lost a lot of defensive pieces this year. So they may not be as good this year on defense.
Yeah. I think that's also a big thing about it is, and I do wonder what Quinnen Williams is going to be up to, because that would be a cool man. I'd love to see that guy in blue and orange, but again, moving from the Bears to the Jets would be a very lateral move. I think there's no way around that. But yeah, I do think their defense is kind of falling apart, and the Jets are kind of in a rebuild right now.
Yeah. Well, like I said, we'll see what happens. Like I said, I think Justin Fields will definitely be a viable starter in fantasy wise, especially because of his running capabilities and whatnot. So, and if once the Jets get into that red zone area, they'll be really dangerous and stuff, especially, if they end up doing a lot of read options with, between giving it to Breece Hall or Justin Fields, because it seems like that's really where Justin Fields is kind of bread and butter is to kind of be that dual threat.
That's the kind of offense they have to run.
Yeah. So we will see, though. We'll see how the Jets, what other pieces they kind of get in the draft and whatnot, and what they do the rest of the season.
Good for him. Good for Justin. Of course I'm happy for him. I've rooted for him for a while, and I'm glad he got his bag. I also know what kind of quarterback he is at this point. And, just Jets fans, just calibrate. Just trust me.
Yeah. So we'll see. We'll see. Like I said, the Jets are used to being disappointed. So, if he ends up being a disappointment, I guess it's not going to be anything that they haven't seen or gone through before. So.
Yep. They are just like us.
I don't know. I think we have better colors at the very least. So.
That's true. We do have a better uniform color scheme. There's no question. No question.
So part of some of the other free agency moves, I'll go. Did you want to say something?
Oh, no, nothing. I'm just stretching my hands.
Oh, okay. So Najee Harris is one of the more recent moves that have been coming across the wire, I think, in the last hour or two.
Chargers.
He ends up going to the Chargers, yes, with Jim Harbaugh there. The Chargers are moving on from J.K. Dobbins. So how do you think Harris will be with the Chargers there in a very run-first, run-focused type of offense?
I think he's definitely a Harbaugh-type player. I don't think, if you're a fantasy guy, I don't think he's like the best running back to pick because, one, he's already let you down many, many years. He's let me down. But, I don't take it personally. But also because, J.K. Dobbins is there, and I do think the Chargers will like to excel with a back-by-committee situation. I do think the Chargers still need to get better at receiver. They got to get my boy Ladd McConkey a little bit of help over there. I thought Devontae Adams would have made a lot of sense to him, but he's going to be, he'll be playing for the other LA team. Yeah. Which also is a big pickup for them. That's a lot of really good route runners on that team. Yeah, the Rams are a threat. I think the Rams are a threat this year, but that's a whole other conversation. I do think, Michael, you're bringing up some good points about, obviously the line being better and hope that leads to wins. I completely agree with you on that. But yeah, I think Oh, what was I talking about? Devontae Adams.
Devontae Adams going to the Rams.
And the Chargers. Najee Harris.
The Chargers.
Look, I think Najee Harris will
Harris,
I think he'll get some touchdowns. I think they'll let him power it in towards the red zone. But I think he's ultimately been like a decent running back. I wouldn't call him a bust, but slightly disappointed. Slight disappointment for a first round pick who was expected for a running back. But he's not bad, and I do think that he'll do pretty well for the Chargers.
Yeah, you would hope that he would have a higher yard average per carry and stuff. He's right under 4. I think he's at 3.8 and stuff. So with the type of back that he is, you would hope and kind of he can get over that 4 yards an average per carry. But like I said, he's over there.
He's like Eddie George.
Yeah, no, well, he's going to he should get all the goal line work over there with the Chargers and whatnot. So it'll be interesting to see if they go ahead. The running back depth in college in this draft is really deep. So it wouldn't surprise me at all if in the later rounds they get a running back to kind of give some competition over there for Harris. So let's see.
I'm with you on that. Yeah, look, I complained about Jim Harbaugh not being with the Bears for the longest time. I'm hoping Ben Johnson is all he's supposed to be and better because if he's not, then don't know where the Bears are going to go from there. But I would have loved to have Harbaugh.
Let's not put that out in the ether. Let's not put that out there. That's some bad juju there.
Yeah, no, I definitely don't want to put that out there. But also.
We've seen this episode before. Yeah,
no, that's the thing. I've seen it before, and it's I'm just too jaded after last season. Really, after that ball hit Darnell Mooney in the stomach and he dropped it on the Hail Mary in 2023, ever since then, I've just been there's something much worse going on with the Bears, and it goes beyond any, fourth dimensional physics that we can understand. It's like some 8th dimensional cosmic shit. And hopefully the pendulum swings in our favor soon, but all you can do is hope. Just keep working at it, try to get better, and they are making the moves that make us look better. It's just a matter of seeing that translate to the field, and I'm hoping Ben could be that guy. Ben.
Fingers crossed on that one.
Yes.
So some of the other moves that kind of came through fantasy wise have some sort of fantasy relevance. Devontae Williams is moving from Denver over to the Cowboys. So Rico Dow's days in Dallas are definitely going to be done. He will be moving on for sure. I know there was, I guess, a slight chance that he may be re-signing in Dallas, but Rico will be moving on as well. So we'll be interesting to see where he ends up and lands. Samaje Perine is going back to Cincinnati. At first, there was some rumblings out there that he went to Tampa, but then I guess John Lynch had to come out on Twitter or whatnot and say, we did not sign that guy. So
Lynch was with the Niners.
Oh, I'm sorry. The GM for you're right. No, but the GM for
I got you. Yeah,
Tampa had to come out and be like, yeah, we did not sign this guy. That is fake news and stuff. So that had to get retracted there.
No, good for him. He's got a home out there, and the fans he's had his moments for sure as a Bengal. Also, there was the other move. Oh yeah, Trey Hendrickson, I guess, is still on the market. He's about to get paid a lot.
Yeah. See, now would you want to give up the draft capital that it would take to get Hendrickson, and then on top of that, you're gonna have to pay him a bag of a shit ton of money. It would be a very similar situation, I think, to Khalil Mack when we traded for him. Give him a lot of draft capital and give him a shit ton of money. Not that he's not worth it.
I understand why any given team would do that. This dude had, almost 18 sacks last year, and he's only 30, so he's still got he's definitely got some gas in the tank. I don't think he deserves a Myles Garrett type contract though, just because I don't know why he doesn't. Something about Myles Garrett is just a little bit more he's so dominant. He just takes over games, even when he's on a bad team that's not really in games. But no, look, he would absolutely the price for him absolutely just skyrocketed with the Myles Garrett trade, because they've been, similarly productive in the past, however many seasons. The only difference is, I guess, with Myles Garrett, it's just been a little bit more sustained.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think I'd give up the bag for Trey Hendrickson right now, just because we have so many holes that still need to be filled, specifically left tackle, but also I think we need more help in the running back room. I think we need more help in the receiver room. I think we still need depth to the offensive line. Even the secondary needs some help. Are we going to trust that Brisker's going to be healthy all year? Kevin Byard's getting old. Jalen Johnson's not going to be good forever. There's so many other positions where the Bears do need help. Kyler Gordon, I don't I'm hoping that we could extend him. Did they end up extending Kyler?
For extending who?
Kyler Gordon?
No, I haven't heard any information about that as of yet.
Oh, okay. Yeah,
so,
I'm hoping that we could get that, but if we're able to give up 2 second rounders to get Hendrickson is his name. Yeah, of course I'm into that. But the question is then you have to pay him. I'd do it probably for second rounders, especially because our quarterback's still on a rookie deal. And, you could finagle the money a little bit. And then you're in good shape on the defensive line. Hendrickson, Sweat, Jarrett, and Dexter as your weakest link. That's not a bad D line. I just don't think, I just think there's too many holes at this point.
Okay. I have to make a correction here. So Fries did not go to Minnesota. Minnesota ended up getting Ryan Kelly. He was the center from the Colts. So
we reported on the show that the Bears got him when I was last on this network, but that was false information. So I made sure to call that one out at the time. I don't think that's a great signing for them either. I think most Colts fans I know say Ryan Kelly's good, but they were ready for him to be gone because they were happy with the center that they have now, who I don't remember his name, but.
So Dr. Truth saying there's no more money left for Hendrickson since we just spent $30 million today on the defensive line. So
that's really what it comes down to.
So good point there, Dr. Truth. Thank you for joining us, guys. Please, if you haven't already, please hit that like button. Please help us grow here at the clubhouse. We were just able to break 1,200 subscribers total. So at the end of the year, our goal is to get to 1,300. So if you guys can do us a solid, share, subscribe. If you guys know anybody that's Bears fans, definitely recommend them, to this show here. And anybody that's into fantasy football, check us out. We're going to have our new showtime is going to be on Wednesday nights now. So
really,
Crooked Commish, with the Mouse from the Bay,
nice.
Sherry is going to be changing her time from She Said What She Said. We don't know when she's going to be saying it. We don't have the new time yet, but
whatever she decides, I'll do something. I'll counter with something so I could have my show.
Yeah, and then easy, like I said, hopefully things can get a little bit more cleared up with your schedule so you can kind of let everybody know, hey, this is my particular time. I don't know if Fridays is still what you want to try and stick with.
Fridays are tough for me. So, easy does it when easy does it. But so far it's not easy to do it.
Yeah, it's not easy to do it. Hey, Greg, show my friends. It's always nice talking with you guys. If anything else happens on the Bears tomorrow. Okay, Michael, thank you for checking us out.
Thanks a lot, Michael. Absolutely. Great to have your insight. Much appreciated.
Hey, the more of us kicking it here in the clubhouse, the better. So,
Agreed.
But real quick before we get off, let's go ahead and talk about some other NFL news that came across the wire earlier in the day. Oh, man, look who joined us. Chris Foster joined us here, the real Bears fan. We need a new QB. No, we don't. Chris, we still have Tyson Bagent, who I know you love. So,
do you mean we need a new backup QB? Because, we could use a backup.
No, I mean, Bagent is the main guy here that Chris wants here. So, he's still on the team, so I know you like to clamor for him. So, but that being said, he says,
he's one of those. Okay.
He loves the offensive moves that the Bears did do today. But he also does think that we did overpay for the defense.
I actually agree with him on that, but anyone who's calling our
Caleb.
quarterback Caleb is not someone that I care to associate with. Like, come on, grow up. We are not in 6th grade. Real Bears fan.
Gotcha. Well, some of us still are. We don't know how old some of these people are. So you never know.
It's true. It's true.
But let's see. The 2 guards are great. So he's liking that we got the guards. So awesome. But on different news here, Zach Wilson ended up going to the Miami Dolphins to back up Tua, the very concussion-prone Tua. So there, I guess, a chance that we might be seeing Garrett Wilson throw the football around if Tua ends up getting his bell rung again. So there you go.
That'd be fun. I like Zach Wilson. I think he's fun. But, obviously I prefer Tua to be healthy and not, a CTE merchant.
Michael says he does think Tyson Bagent is a starter in this league. Well,
okay.
It ain't going to be
that's a take. Definitely
a take. That is a take. So it would be interesting to see if he got an actual opportunity to start somewhere. For that to happen, though, that means something bad happened to Caleb, and Bagent got to play quite a bit to kind of give that kind of showcase and whatnot. But like I said, hopefully that doesn't happen and we don't go down that road. So where do you think Cooper Kupp is going to end up, since the Rams are going to be parting ways with him? Where do you think it's his best chance to kind of thrive?
I mean, the place that makes the most sense for him is New England.
They
need a receiver, and they love their white receivers.
And not to mention, New England was really in the market for Chris Godwin. They wanted Godwin really bad, I hear.
I think Kupp to the Patriots makes more sense than anything. I think they need weapons.
They do. Drake may need someone to throw it to.
Exactly. And I mean, they love their scrappy gym rats, their first guy in, last guy out, student of the game type players. And that is what Cooper Kupp is. Definitely that. This is the team that won Super Bowls with Julian Edelman, Danny Amendola, and Chris Hogan. So, yeah, Cooper Kupp to the Patriots almost feels inevitable.
He's going to fit right in, yeah, for sure.
Yep.
Cocaine Bear, thank you for joining us, guys. If you are just jumping in, like I said, please hit the – why do you make masters? I like that. So I want a cheap third wide receiver. So let's see some other moves that happened today. Josh Sweat ended up going to the Cardinals. That was someone that was on our list that
I wanted Sweat. I wanted a sweat on. I wanted a sweaty line.
We wanted a sweat shot. We wanted a sweat on one side of the ball on the defensive end, and then Sweat on the other side of the ball with the defensive end. So that would have been sick if we would have been able to pull that off. But the Cardinals ended up going to get him, and that makes sense because I guess he's familiar with the coach there. The coach used to be the Eagles, with the Eagles there, so he has some familiarity.
Dr. Truth, yes, I am. Oh, yeah, that's right. That's a good memory. Yes, Dr. Truth, I am a fan of the Jonah Jackson trade.
Yeah.
Because he's not going to be a center. He's going to be a guard.
As long as he can stay healthy. Like I said, the issue is last year he kind of got hit with the injury bug, which is kind of the same issue that happened with Dolman last year. So we're getting these 2 new offensive linemen. They're both kind of coming off of injuries, which you're never a fan. You never really want to see. But the other guy that we traded for KC, he's been rock solid his whole career. He hasn't really had to deal with any kind of injuries. So hopefully that trend kind of continues here with Chicago. So Cocaine Bear, pick 10 bidding war for tight end Tyler Warren. Bears trade back 10 to Denver for the 20 pick, 51. Chargers have 22 and 55. Bucks have 19. So trade back we have quite a few different trade back partners. It looks like that he's pointing out there. So does that mean that you're clamoring for Tyler Warren there, Cocaine Bear? Trade back and pick up Tyler Warren with that first pick of the Bears? That would be interesting. Tyler Warren and Cole Kmet there.
Look, we do need another tight end.
Yeah, we do. So
we're in the market for one, but I wouldn't draft one in the first round probably. Yeah, I don't trust first round tight ends. Kyle Pitts, I rest my case. I also don't think TJ Hawkinson's been all that. I mean, he's NFL level player, but they just haven't really shown what they're made of yet, I suppose.
Right. Well, let's see let me look back on a few other moves here. The Packers are expected to sign cornerback Nate Hobbs. So that's something that we'll have to look forward to and seeing that guy around.
I don't know anything about Nate Hobbs, if I'm being honest. But yeah, I think they did sign him.
The Commanders keep getting better. So not only did they trade for Debo a few weeks back, and then today they traded and got Laramie Tunsil.
Yeah, they traded for Laramie Tunsil today. They traded a second, third, and fourth. They have their franchise left tackle now. They got a guy who's in his prime. He has a lot of false start penalties, but he's still really good. Yeah, the Commanders are good. And
yeah,
David Daniels has that aura. I'd be wary about the Commanders for sure if I'm a fan of an NFC team, which I am. So, yay.
Yeah, they're looking really strong. They're looking really, really strong with all the moves that they're doing to kind of help protect the rookie of the year over there.
And Jay Grizz, we addressed Devontae Adams to the Rams. It's a big, just really big move for them. Rams are a threat. I think the Rams are absolutely a threat. As they have one of the best coaches in the game. They're always going to be competitive. They almost beat the Eagles this year. They were the only team to really actually give the Eagles a scare in the playoffs. And that was in the snow. The Rams are not going it. They're not done.
No, and like I said, that's someone that Matt Stafford will benefit from as well, having him and Puka there. So, I mean, Devontae Adams, I was kind of half joking and expecting him somewhat to kind of follow wherever Aaron Rodgers went. I felt like he was kind of Aaron Rodgers' shadow there.
Yeah, for real.
But like I said, it doesn't make me sad or anything like that to see them not being paired together and whatnot. And I still think that Devontae Adams can put up some really good numbers with the Rams still. So, guys, like I said, we're getting up to the hour mark. I know Easy has a few things that he needs to get done and going. Everybody that just joined us coming in late, sorry to do this to you and to cut the show off here, but Jay Grizz, we really do appreciate you. And Chris, I have a fantasy show here at the clubhouse. So if you like what we're saying and like to chop it up with us, we'd love to have you come and talk with us whenever we get back on the market here. We get back and talking football and stuff. So the main guys are going to have their show tomorrow night. Obviously, we have a lot to talk about and go over. So we have Frank the Tank. We have Foul Mouth Chris. We have T-Nick. And, of course, we have JB Stats that's going to be talking about all the Bears moves tomorrow night. So that is the main show. So, guys, check us out tomorrow as well. Easy, is there any kind of final thoughts that you have for all our guests out there, or any kind of wishes or things that you hope that the Bears will do on day 2 of free agency?
Look, just get players that lead us to winning more games. It's easier said than done.
Okay.
But I'd like to see the pass rush improved, because I don't think that getting that guy from the Colts means anything. And
Deo.
Yeah, Deo. I'm really excited for the draft. I love the draft. And baseball season. Let's go Cubbies. My saving grace right now is PCA. And so definitely hyped about that.
So Bears fan, yeah, we do need another third wide receiver as well, but that's maybe where we'll get them in the draft. So, but guys, thank you all for joining us. Like I said, tomorrow we'll have day 2 of free agency. So the guys at the clubhouse here will have a lot more to talk about. Not only will they be going over the moves that the Bears did today, but obviously there's still more work to be done. So thank you very much. Yep. Thank you very much, guys, everyone that tuned in and checked us out today. We really do appreciate it. Like I said, please hit that like button. Please share us as well. So, and remember to be safe out there and be good. But if you can't be good, well, damn it, at least be good at it.
You got to decide whether you're a wolf or a sheep.
Do I have to decide now?
No. You don't have to decide. It's been pre-decided. We're all wolves up in here at the clubhouse.
Oh. Yeah, we are.
This has been a Chicago Clubhouse Network production.